Hey guys, this is Lei from Goldfish Corner. Welcome back. So today I'm not going to show you any fancy goldfish video or pictures, but I'm going to share a very interesting topic, which is goldfish term. So we're going to talk about what is Wenn, what does it mean, and where it came from. Alright, stay tuned. A few years ago, when I searching online, an interesting goldfish term is called Wen, W-E-N. When I was in China, goldfish was my hobby, and I started breeding goldfish when I was in high school. And I'm quite familiar with the terms, but I never heard of a Wen. Okay, let's go to the Facebook. All right, now we're on the Facebook, and the private group I'm gonna share is called Goldfish Keepers, and this is one of the famous goldfish group in the world. It's about 56,000 members in this private group. Luckily I'm one of them. That's actually a great resource for the goldfish keeping knowledge. Search Wenn, W-E-N, like here if you type, and there's a lot of them. So he's suffering from Wenn. This location looks like a rancho. And I heard of Wenn surgery, talk about Wenn growth and Wenn trims. So we heard a lot about Wenn, and this thing can also grow, and it tends to correlate it with the goldfish that has a strong head development. If you keep moving, I mean, they're just on and on. So what the first time this appears in this group? So the Goldfish Keeper Facebook group was established in 2014. So let's see if this thing we can see anything on 2014. So if you 2014, wow, it's still there. See, can't wait to see Wenn and the fin grow. So this means Wenn can grow. And they also talk about Wenn. So look like the concept has been in the goldfish community for a while. So if you don't know anything, I'm like you, let's go to Google and just Google it up. So now I'm starting my research. So the first thing you go to, let's type in, what is Goldfish Wen? All right, obviously the first thing pop up is Wikipedia. That's normally a good resource because here's the Oranda. Let's click Oranda. Obviously, you know the Oranda is sort of a goldfish with dorsal fin, but also has very strong head development. So one particular sentence here is actually catch me. So due to the fleshy outgrowth on the upper half of his head and on sides of his face, the Oranda has become one of the most beautiful goldfish. Check, agree. The head growth is described as a Wenn by Chinese aquatics. By Chinese aquatics? Chinese is my first language, but I never heard of it. I clearly know none of the textbook or any of the goldfish farm or goldfish breeder in China use Wenn as a head growth. We just call cyst or a head growth by China. So that's my first question. Why is that? Let's do some study. So Wenn sounds so like Chinese or Japanese. We probably have three Chinese or even Japanese characters as described at Wenn, as you see on the screen that I share here. So out of these characters, so we know Wenn, which is ask, is not a noun, is a verb. So let's strike it through. The other characters was Wenn, which means warm or temperature. That's nothing to do with goldfish body. The last one, which is a mouth or kiss. Well, we use Wenn as a part of a head growth in the body. It's not particular mouth, it's closed, but not head growth. So let's strike that characters off. So the only plausible characters that could be used as head growth, Wenn, which actually means a type of goldfish which has the Wenn. So if Wikipedia is right, how this Wenn as a type of goldfish become a head growth? That's my second question. The way I study goldfish, you could be brave to have any hypothesis, and then you just be carefully validate your hypothesis. So let's do that. So first hypothesis is if the Wenn came from Chinese language, most Wenn fish has head growth. So the Western country may misuse the Wenn as type of goldfish to describe the head growth. Okay, so that's my hypothesis. Again, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. So let's validate it. So the next step is I actually post a post on the Facebook. I wanted to verify. Hopefully, if you heard anybody saying, "Hey, the first time I heard a Wenn is actually from a Chinese goldfish farm, or from Chinese book, or from a Chinese hobbyist that use Wenn as head growth," bingo. That's actually verified my hypothesis. So let's see my old post on Facebook, see how it works. So I posted my question on the Facebook, the Goldfish Council, Goldfish Chat. This Goldfish group is mainly for the American goldfish hobbyist. That's actually one of my favorite goldfish group. The people up there is very nice and they're very open, and they tends to has a lot of knowledge-based goldfish lovers there. They like to share, they like to investigate it. So let's go there and take a look. All right, as you can see, this is what I call one of my favorite goldfish group on Facebook. It's called Goldfish Council, Goldfish Chat. See, on the February 11th, I have a post. All right, so I had a post on February 11th. I asked, what does Wenn means to you, and what and where did you first heard of it? And please reply below, and your answer will help my project on goldfish terms. So that's why my question is, first I want to verify Wenn does mean the head growth, my first question. The second one, I want to trace the usage to which year that's the first time, or hopefully if I heard any people here saying, hey, I heard Wenn from a Chinese goldfish farm or from Chinese books that are translated in English, to actually verify my hypothesis. And you see it's a lot of famous people here give me a likes, appreciate it. Also 37 comment over there. If I flip through, a lot of people, as I verify, they say that I heard online from the Goldfish group. It's probably around 2018, sounds like recently. Here's another people saying we have several articles I read, which is actually a great resource. And Sylvia provided a Spanish magazine, which is pretty recent. I actually use Wenn in the publications, but it's in Spanish. Looks like the first thing is Wenn is there up there for a while. The second one doesn't feel like people heard this Wenn either from Chinese or likely from Japanese as origin. So that's making me question with my first hypothesis is, or even question the web page of the original web, whether this sentence is correct or not. And but if this did not came from Chinese language, I also need a proof. Facebook post actually helped me to question my hypothesis, which at least I'm not able to prove it came from Chinese language. And then my second angle to get through this, my next question is, hey, what about books? Do we see any Wenn in the official published Goldfish book? Which year did we use the Goldfish books? So, this is actually a famous one from Goldfish Society of America, early name of the Goldfish Council in US. The second book came from Dr. Chris Andrews. The conclusion is on those two books, I don't see any words using when to describe head growth or head development. So they're actually using just very straightforward. They just use head growth. They don't use anything else. For this book, this is from Dr. Chris Angel. And again, there's no single Wen in this book. The way he described the goldfish is just using hood from Dr. Andrews. He just called it hood as a goldfish development. None of this has Wen. I believe Susie's also shared this good goldfish book. It's fancy goldfish book, and she said there's no Wen in this goldfish book. So looks like we got stuck. At this moment, I'm not able to prove the Wen came from Chinese, and the Wen hasn't been used any publications, and none of those books with Wen. My study also become almost the international collaboration project, because on the Facebook, I got a reply from all around the world regarding the Wen study. I got help from Spain, from France. I got people reply even from China. They kind of verifies this Wen terms. But eventually, one of my friends, Gérard from Canada, he did a really great documentation. He actually saved all the old GFSA, stands for Goldfish Society of America report. So he even back to 1994. So he actually shared a bunch of a very good image from Facebook. That's actually my aha moment. And from his report and from 1994 Goldfish Society of America's report is actually helping to answer a lot of those questions and also verify my hypothesis. So let's see. The first thing he shared this is actually a GSA report. Zoom in. So if you read one of these report, the author is Merlin Cliff. Merlin actually on this report clearly thinks the major distinguishing feature of the orenda is the head growth, hood, or Wen. Using clearly Wen in the report, which means at least by 1994, Wen has clearly using in publications. So this actually helped me. My first hypothesis is very likely wrong, because if you think about 1994, the internet is actually an early age. So the information exchange between Western countries to China is actually not as frequent as today. So the language exchange is less. So that make me think the Wen is unlikely came from Chinese or even Japanese language, even though Wen sounds so like Chinese. So this kind of proof my hypothesis was wrong. But I need further proof. And then another of my goldfish friends, Amanda, shared a very interesting recent publication from Japanese researcher as a goldfish review paper. I can share you on the screen that, so you can see the Japanese researcher actually does not call the head development as Wen. They did not use Wen. They actually just called hood. This paper actually published very recently in 2019 in the GB review about a goldfish. The two authors clearly came from Japan. So even Japanese researcher or goldfish keeper, they don't use Wen. Considering the 1994 report, considering the 2019 goldfish review paper, I can clearly verify the Wen does not came from either Chinese language or Japanese language. This is done deal, at least to me. All right, so the second question, if Wen did not came from Chinese or Japanese, so where this Wen came from? That's my second question. At that moment, I really don't know. This is typical thing when you do the research. It need to be teamwork. You cannot just do by yourself. You have to talk with your friends or talk with your mentor or your advisor online to see what their opinion. So I did the same. So I text Gérard from Canada. I told Gérard, I said, probably at this moment, the best I can prove is Wen did not came from China or Japanese. but I stuck. I don't know where Wen came from. And Gérard, again, second time, gave me a hint. He actually shared me with his hypothesis in terms of head growth or head development of Orenda fish. Different part of the world has different way to describe. He just draw the conclusion. He's saying American goldfish keeper tends to use head growth. UK or England people tends to use hood, and the Australia people tends to use Wen. Wow, that's amazing. How come he draw this interesting conclusion? Let's verify it. Go back to 1994 GFSA report. If you look at the author, this author, Merlin Conliffe, he actually from Australia. And more is, if you read his sentence, he said the major distinguishing feature of the Orenda is have three terms: the head growth, hood, or Wen. And by the way, none of the three terms has a quotation. So that means it just naturally came out from their local language. They're not borrowed from another language. So the head growth very likely means in US, the hood by UK, and Wen refer to his own country, Merlin's own country is back to Australia. Now let's go back to the book's fact. Because that's actually opened up all the doors, everything becomes so crystal clear. This book, or the official guide of goldfish, this book actually from US. That's why if you look at all through, as I said before, every single terms when they have head growth, they use head growth, straightforward head growth, no hood, no Wen, just head growth. So this is US way to call the head development is that head growth. This book, the author, Dr. Andrews, he did not use head growth. He only used hood. If you look his biography of the author, so Dr. Chris Andrews, he actually grew up in UK, and then he came to US. Dr. Andrews, he's still from UK. That's why he used hood in his book. This is beautiful. I feel so good. Again, as an engineer, I always want to ask another question. Why Wen equals head growth in Australia, not in UK or not in US? Here's the text message that he sent it to me, which I think is another aha moment to me right here. So Gérard says, if you look lower the Merriam-Webster page, you see his history and etymology for Wen from Middle English and also from Old English. I said, okay, I actually go to the Merriam-Webster page. The first one is says the definition. There's the two names. The definition: Wen as an abnormal growth or cyst protruding from a surface, especially of the skin. And then if you look at the lower side, Middle English Wen from Old English. Okay, that's kind of answered my question, as probably Australia may still have Old English words since geological location to keep the Old English. Now I have the proof from Merriam-Webster, but my question is, if I see the fact once, can I find another fact so we can cross verify each other? And then I actually go to the weak dictionary, and they have similar stories. So they said from Middle English Wen, from Old English Wen, they also have the definition of the cyst on the skin. That's actually perfect description for the goldfish head growth on the Orenda goldfish. What I like on this webpage is it's actually give a few quotations so you can see the history, and the earliest one I can see is 1854. And they later on in 1973, these all sort of a modern time use. There's a even later case in 1996. So now I have not only the Merriam-Webster, but at the same time I also had the second verification from the webpage, the Wiktionary, and also has a very detailed usage plus quotation. Now I think I buy it. So it's been a long journey. So let's summarize. So here, this is Lei's conclusion corner. The first one I can draw is Wenn was probably first introduced by Australian as a goldfish term for head growth based on an Old English of Wenn, ei, a cyst on the skin. And the second one, Wenn was not borrowed from Chinese or Japanese language, although it sounds like so. The last one, different terms such as head growth in US, hood in UK, and Wenn in Australia has gradually converged into Wenn as a common goldfish terms since late 1990s. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy my whole journey searching for Wenn and find the secret behind where Wenn came from and why Australians started calling it Wenn. What is the etymology of Wenn? It's kind of an interesting example. As goldfish hobbyist, you can still do some useful goldfish research. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please give me a big like, and also please join my club. Please subscribe my channel, and you can always get these latest and newest goldfish tips and goldfish knowledge. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.